Hello, welcome to a new video that may be controversial or not, but it's a video regarding the movie Dragon Ball Z Broly Second Coming. I say it is controversial because I know that some of you really love this movie, and to some extent I kind of understand, but I can never forgive what it has done to Broly as a character. I am your host, AzuriteRabbit, that was totally not cringe. And if you follow my channel for a long time, you will know that I have a distaste for the movie Second Coming, more than I do with the movie Bio Broly.
What?
I am not joking. Subscribe! You guys are going to destroy me, aren't you? But let me explain. Before I start bashing the dumpster fire of a movie, I want to go by all the good things it has done, because yes, it has done some really good things. So first off, Broly's design looks gorgeous. He's such a beautiful man. I can't really complain at all with how Broly looks in this movie. It's just chef's kiss. Secondly, the overall fights are really good. Yeah, some were dragged out and straight up boring, but the other fights managed to compensate those slip-ups. Especially when Gohan joins the movie. The fight between him and Broly are brutal and shows how ferocious Broly truly is. And finally, the famous family Kamehameha. This scene was amazingly well made, even if it's a bit of a stretch and ridiculous when Goku appears out of the sky as some sort of angel. But in this Kamehameha scene, you can see that Trunks did the same move as Vegeta in the Cell Saga, throwing a small ki blast that distracted the opponent, allowing the Kamehameha to prevail. It was a really nice touch. And these are all the good parts of the movie in my opinion. I also like the cast of characters, well, for the most part, and especially not putting Goku as the main character is always a fresh take, to which I really appreciated a lot. Although the piss jokes and the dragged out plot was extremely unnecessary. However, despite all the amazing topics that I mentioned, I just can't bear to rewatch it. Not only did it start almost halfway through, but I feel that this shouldn't even be a Broly movie to begin with. This version of Broly doesn't feel like the real deal. I watched all the 3 DBZ movies back to back, and I was confused and disappointed when I finished watching Second Coming. At least when it came to Bio Broly, I knew it would be off because I mean, come on! Look at him, what is this? And I went with no expectations. And on top of that, Bio Broly would have been okay if in the end they didn't say that Bio Broly was indeed Broly, and not a clone or a faker. Also, this came right after Second Coming. Half the damage was already done anyways. Second Coming was where, unapologetically, the Kakarot meme truly began. If you want to talk about the ever first DBZ Broly movie, I made a video talking about it and the whole Kakarot crying incident, so if you want to watch it, you can click on the pop-up on the corner. When I saw the first movie for the first time, I didn't think that the Kakarot crying was the reason for the trauma that Broly had, but it was instead the trigger sound that brought all the awful memories back to him. But later on, after knowing more about the Saiyan history, I felt that it was more of a showcase of rivalry or contrast between a low-class Saiyan and a high-class Saiyan. Although when Second Coming dropped, the whole concept of the first movie took a 360 and Broly hated Goku because of all the crying, and I didn't take it kindly. Heck, I even watched this movie for the first time in the kitchen while eating, and my food turned bland and my water turned salty. In the first movie, Broly hated Kakarot and showed bigger focus on him when Broly was in his base form. But once he burst out of his shell, he wanted to destroy everything. He didn't seem to care or focus mainly on Goku, but focus instead on everyone around him. Because he just loved destroying everything and to make everyone's life a living hell. Showing that he was indeed stronger than anyone else, hence why he is a devil. He was also able to distinguish every single character, especially Goku and Gohan.
Kakarot, 息子が可愛いか。
ごはん、逃げろ！でもお父さん！行け！
Which in Second Coming, that didn't happen. Everyone was a Kakarot.
Kakarot!
During the Second Coming movie, Broly seemed to have lost everything that made him cool in the first place, at least for me. He would tease and mock the opponents, gave snarky commentaries in the midst of destruction. He didn't feel like a brainless brute, he was having fun and he would let you know. Now he seems like a husk of what he used to be. One of the points brought to counter this critique is that he got heavily injured and traumatized, losing control in exchange of revenge. But at this point I might as well excuse everything, from when he exploded to find a traveling pod and going straight to planet Earth, which he fell into a pit of ice underground and somehow managed to listen to Go Tenkaichi. With so many plot holes and stretches, I could let this excuse slide, but no. The trauma thing is not a good excuse to explain his current state. I would let this slide if he only behaved this way in his base or Super Saiyan form, because in the first movie, he indeed had a similar behavior. But once he went Legendary Super Saiyan, he gained a charismatic, chaotic personality. And you don't see that after he transforms into Legendary Super Saiyan in the Second Coming movie. The loss of personality was not an excuse in my eyes. It's simply badly written and made Broly, who used to be cocky and fun to watch, become boring, a screaming brute, although still very attractive. In some games they managed to create a good balance between the first and the second movie Broly. However, no matter how much I want to disconnect both Brolys, it's almost impossible at this point. Because even the fans see him as the same character despite the many differences in his attitude. Meanwhile, Pyro Broly was so bad that it was seen as a completely separate Broly, thanks to its awful design and seeing it more as a clone of Broly than the real Broly, therefore not ruining Broly's personality and character even further, something that Second Coming did and got away with it. No wonder he had to be fully rebooted. The trash was so deep in the bin that it was almost impossible to retrieve it in good condition. Heck, DBZ Broly spoke more incoherent sentences in a small fraction of its movie than Second Coming Broly did in its entire run. I am so sorry, but no matter how much I try to enjoy Second Coming, I cannot express happiness or joy when I watched it, because for me, it will forever be one of the biggest character slaughters that I've seen in a very long time. My favorite memories from Broly are from the first movie, and I will forever consider that version of him to be the real OG Broly. No idiotic Kakarots after transforming, no slime goops, no pissing, just plain old, destructive, entertaining, charismatic, and fun villain. If you agree or disagree with my points, let me know in the comments below. I know there are many people who really enjoy this movie, and I have nothing against them. I just can't find the same enjoyment, sadly. And hopefully you didn't leave this video too triggered. And with all this being said, thank you all so much for watching until the end, and if you haven't subscribed or rang the bell yet, feel free to do so, as to not miss any single video or stream. I also want to thank my members for supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. And I hope to see you all on my next video or stream, so stay tuned for that content, my friends.
I'm